All right, guys, it's the Max Savage Chronicles episode 11. We're getting through this story mode pretty quick. I wanted to set some things straight about yesterday's episode, the dark episode. It was dark, but after talking to my bud Augustus, I came to a realization that they have to kill those dudes. Once somebody's soul is tempered, they're tempered by a primal. Once they're tempered by a primal, then they're going to forever worship that primal, and that's what brings the primals into existence. So they just it's like the whole kill a few to save many. They don't want a bunch of baby primals running around, so it has to be done. The cruddy part is that, besides the MSQ, I had those Amajal whooped. So technically that should have never happened. The story mode made that happen. They didn't have to die. But I was a little burnt yesterday because I felt like Minfilia was holding stuff back. We had to hear that shit from Thancred. It was a rough episode, but, they're doing what they gotta do, I guess. It was a dark episode all the way around. I listened to it yesterday. I felt like I was just talking shit through the whole thing. So this is going to be a much more uplifting and happy episode. Let's get back into the game. The Scions aren't as evil as I thought they were. I was just hurt. The MSQ hurt me. So let's get back on track and talk to Minfilia over here. And it says, Minfilia is wearing a wry smile. Might it have something to do with your newfound fame? She's just smiling. See, I need to get out of that mindset. Oh yeah, and Severin. I was talking about Ungust yesterday, or episode before that, about how he was just like the dude, Bryn, or whatever his name was, Severin. That worked in Summerfield, the little ex-pirate guy that was, working together with the bad guys and making people disappear. Until not very long ago, you were but one of many adventurers seeking to make their way into Eorza. But for your character and courage, you were raised to the esteemed post of envoy. Thereafter, you traveled the realm, aiding those in need without thought of reward, confirming to Y'shtola, that the Scions would benefit from your aid. And no sooner had you joined us than you personally bested the primal Ifrit. Yeah, because I was thinking, I killed the Ifrit. How are those guys going to still worship something I killed? But then I remembered when they told me, Thancred, I think, told me about the how they're born is by people having turmoil, and they're going to sit there and just worship these motherfuckers right back to existence. You've achieved a great deal in a short time, and won fame in doing so. Alas, fame does not come without a price, as you will soon discover. I think we're going to have that conversation. We have guests, Max, or rather, you have guests. Oh, didn't mean to hit that. Lady Minfilia, radiant as always. I'm given to understand the Scions of Seventh Dawn have but recently welcomed a new hero into their midst. I am here on behalf of the Maelstrom Grand Company and Limsa Lominza to offer said hero a place of honor within our ranks. As you can see, Max, your recent exploits have garnered you the attentions of Grand Companies of Eorza. Oh yeah, they all want me on their team, right? Each organization would have Ifrit's Bane for its own. To this end, all three have sent officers to court you. This is just like when I scored really high on my ASVABs. They would not ordinarily go to such lengths to enlist a new recruit. That they have is evidence of their high regard for you. That they have is their evidence for their high regard for you. I find myself wondering how words of Max's deeds spread so quickly that the immortal flame should know of his triumph is to be expected, but what of the other grand companies? Yeep. Here comes Teturu. Your reputation precedes you, Master Savage. 'Tis no ordinary man who can face a primal and emerge the victor. The Order of the Twin Adder has need of valiant men such as you. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us ensure peace. The peace ever reigns over the Twelf's Wood. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you, Master Savage. My comrades speak of you in the most glowing terms. A man of your talent belongs with the immortal flames. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us secure the prosperous future for Ul'dah. The Admiral was not exaggerating when she said you have the look of a hero. Full often does she speak of you, friend, as do many others in Limsa. Long before the rest of yours that took note, your name was well known to us, owing to your valorous deeds on behalf of our citizens. It is only natural that we should want you for the Maelstrom. Join your strength to ours, and together let us see the grand vessel of Limsa Lominsa to the shores of glory. I'm like, wow. I'm glad you guys all came. Lady Minfilia. Now what I'm thinking is, I really have, very well, she said. I guess, respect and loyalty towards the Maelstrom, because that's where I started out, and their color is red, which is awesome. And I really don't give a shit about the Adder. But the Flames, I was going to join them all along. Found out they were kind of dickheads, and I still think they're kind of dickheads. But they had traitors in their mix. The dude was working with Ungust, and it's like, do I want to be a part of that just to expose the traitors? Like, what would Max Savage do? Would he say fuck both the Maelstrom and the Flames and say, you know what, I'm just going to go with the Twin Adder, start fresh? Would he go with the Maelstrom because he has loyalty to Limsa Lominsa? Or would he go with the Flames in Ul'dah because he knows it's a corrupt organization and he wants to expose it from the within, from inside? I think that's what I'm going to do. I think it's going to be Flames. Though I am quite sure you need no reminding, mayhap a brief summary of the situation would help to clarify your thoughts on the matter. As you know, the grand companies are all-encompassing organizations empowered to call upon the martial, economic, and technological resources of their respective city-states in times of strife. There are presently 3 such organizations in Eorza: the Maelstrom of Limsa Lominsa, the Order of the Twin Adder of Gridania, and the Immortal Flames of Ul'dah. Serving a grand company means serving the nation to which it belongs. You will be charged with its defense and tasked with advancing its cause. In return for your faithful service, you'll be furnished with various rewards, some of which may well prove useful in your other endeavors. If you are agonizing over which of the grand companies best deserves your loyalty, be at ease. The commitment you make this day need not be permanent. Should you wish to shift your allegiance at a later date, you are entitled to do so. And yet I can see that it is no small choice you face. And a thought occurs to me. You will of course recall that the 3 city-states are planning to hold remembrance services. Well, as part of the proceedings, I am given to understand the leader of the Grand Company will deliver an address. Hearing these addresses ought to help you make an informed decision. What say you, my dear officers? A fine suggestion. You are as wise as you are beautiful, my lady. Well, very well. Let Max hear our leader speak, then return here with his decision. Maelstrom looks cooler, doesn't it? We got the cooler symbol. It's like a ship. And then, Flames kind of looks like it's like they're wearing Boba Fett's colors. And the Twin Adder looks like dirty piss. Yeah, Twin Adder's just asked out of this one. Oh, Tetra, which one did you want me to join? You know what? I'm gonna let you make the decision for me. I know full well the adventurers are by their nature a liberty-loving breed, and not best suited to the discipline of military service, but I strongly urge you to join a grand company nonetheless. While the promise of reward is enticing in itself, it is not the only benefit. You are possessed of great power, Max, and with it comes great responsibility. Thank you, Uncle Ben. Or, what's her name? Aunt May. Max, because Aunt May says it too in the new movie. Spoiler alert. Max, and with it you are capable of doing untold good. Yet know that great power is wont to attract attention. Not all of it is friendly. Is wont to attract attention. It attracts attention, and sometimes that attention is not good. There will be those who wish you ill, and you must needs be on the lookout for them. Yet, however vigilant you are but one man in the midst of a grand company. However, you will be one man amongst many, a friend amongst friends. Your achievements will be shared, and so will the danger. I can think of no better arrangement. Of course, joining one organization need not mean leaving another. I hope that we can continue to rely upon your aid. The 12 know that we will have need of it in days ahead. The grand companies seek to protect their own nations. We Scions, on the other hand, seek to preserve the future of yours as a whole. Similar, yet not quite the same. Now that I expect you'll be filled more often in the future, as such, I would have you carry this link pearl with you at all times. It will allow us to stay in touch regardless of the location. Yours is changing, Max, and you have the power to help shape it anew. None can say what the morrow will bring, but so long as we believe in ourselves, there is naught we cannot achieve. Now it is time you made ready for your journey. Before you depart, be sure to speak with Tatura. She will appraise you of where and when the remembrance services are due to take place. Quest accepted. Okay, so these three guys are all going to give a speech at the remembrance. Whoever gives the best speech is who I'm supposed to join. But man, dude, look at the Maelstrom. That suit's just tight. The Maelstrom looks more like a Matt villain type of group. I think I'm going to go with you guys, so don't let me down. That's it. The Flame General is a passionate man, and his words never fail to light a fire in the belly of those who listen. I'm sure there'll be no exception. Alright, I'm not even going to talk. Well, yeah, I guess I'll talk to him. When Admiral speaks, even pirates listen, and that's no small thing. She is a born leader, the kind one would gladly follow to the seventh hell. The other Seed Seer speaks only truth, and her words have the power to touch the soul. At the sound of her voice, all fall silent and attend her. So, all right. Looks like I got two broads running a broad running the Maelstrom, and a woman, a lady, and a dude running the flames. I think I'd have more pool with the ladies. The dude and me are gonna butt heads probably. All right, Tatura. I'm gonna speak with you, my little buddy. Hi, I'm sorry about the attention you're getting, Max. I might have sung your praises a little too loudly and often too few many of people. Next time I'll be sure to hold my tongue literally if necessary. Anyway, I expect that you know where and when the remembrance services are taking place. If all goes to plan, Gridania's Grand Company, the Order of the Twin Adder, will hold the first of three services, and Elder Seer Khan E. Sina will deliver her address at Mikito's amphitheater. I should probably mention at this point that due to the organizational challenges involved in assembling all of the involved parties, it's possible that the order of the services might change. Still, there's not much we can do about that, so make Gridania your first port of call. Next, you'll need to go to Ul'dah, where Flame General Rabban Adolin will be addressing the masses at the Royal Promenade. Oh, and it's rumored there is to be a special guest. How exciting. Last but not least, you'll make your way to the stateroom in Limsa Lominsa, where Maelstrom Chief Admiral Merlib Blofiswin will be giving her address. The room is accessible via the Admiral's lift. Identify yourself to the Sentry Xanthel and he'll admit you. You got all that? I got all that. Well, off you go then. I hope you find remembrance services suitably educational. I suggest visiting the city-states in my prescribed order, though with your record of impeccable timing and luck, the schedule may well change. The schedule may well change in favor of your preferred travel plans. Turn off my phone here. It's blowing me up this morning already. Alright. So now I gotta go. Well, off you go. I hope you find that, impeccable timing. Schedule may change in favor of your preferred travel plans. Farewell. So basically telling me whichever one I go to is what's going to start first. Looks like we're going to have a lot of reading and a lot of talking on this one, so I'm glad we got this started. Hopefully we can get most of it out of the way. The making, a hero in the making. I think after this I should be able to get my rank up and be able to get my mount, which is super important. But I guess I'll just go ahead and go in order. We'll start here. Go to the amphitheater. Wow, there we go. Bullet Club is doing great. We're well over 50 members. I've weeded out some inactives, so mostly everybody on there is pretty active now. And we got some money set aside for housing when it opens up. And I think we're doing pretty good. A lot of people have joined recently. I hope they stick around. And man, it was so much nicer over here during the All Saints event. Now it's like all bare and nobody's... Oh, I guess they are right now. Look at this. We're having a party up here. Oh, that's right. It's today the 8th? Oh, I didn't even notice all the Valentine's Day stuff up. I'm sitting there talking and bitching about the All Saints. Look. Oh, cool. We're going to have to get on with Matt Villain and do a video going through the Valentine's Day event, because I'm sure there's going to be one. Some kind of little mission, or... I'll probably go through it with both. I don't know if I'll do Max Savage on there. Maybe I will do it with Max Savage this time.
I lost my son to the calamity.
Oh.
The 3 Seedseers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body.
Wow. I remember her. She was on the mountain.
Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood.
Oh yeah, I met her too, I think, when I first came here.
Fearful of the green wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Nice.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seedseer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
Slytherin. I don't know.
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us.
She might be a Malfoy.
Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat.
So you guys are the OGs. Started it all, huh?
5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice.
And not to talk smack, but I did see you on the hill, not really doing much, but just talking slow.
Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity.
Uh-oh.
The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed. Each waking hour, a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk the high roads without fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
All the twins. From the boat.
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania.
Man, I hope the other guys don't talk as much as she does.
We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you, join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children!
Woods will be done!
It's up to us to protect the forest! For the elementals!
What's going on, man? Maybe that's why the calamity happened, because everybody's so slow, dude. Alright, so everybody's clearing out. I'm gonna hit this dab hit and head to, I think the next one's the Maelstrom.
If you'll permit me, Alfie, no. And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
The Gridanians are unfortunate enough to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition and wont to summon their bloodthirsty primal Garuda. I'll smack him too. The Slives, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridanians. Until recently, at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Ramu. I'll smack Ramu. The Gridanians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict the last resort. Doesn't sound like my type of people. Though they clash with the Ixal, is it Ixal? Ixal? Even more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Slips, they are yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. The Twelves Wood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of the elementals, will put an end to their woes. Yet how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to an all-out war, and when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How vulnerable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them, then? Well, dude, I'll just be like one city over. I can teleport, so if I'm an old dog, I'll be like, hey, on my way. We have that link shell shit set up. You guys are fucking part of the 7th Dawn. Don't act like you're not. You guys go to one area, I'll go to... How about you join the fucking Gridanians? How about that? Funky Cop. That's a cool name. Got a cool hairdo. Alright, so now we gotta go to... Oh no, Uldah's next. Alright. Well, I can just return there. I have that set up for home base right now. I like the layout of Uldah the best. Limsa, Lominsa. It's just going up and down the fucking elevator all the time, and just the setup. I don't know. Gridania, same thing. It's all spread out. Uldah's like my kick-it spot. Alright, so where do we have to go? There we go in the middle. Yeah, Uldah is kind of like my spot. I like to hang out in the quicksand. And on this server, it's freaking empty, which is nice. Because the last server I was on, you'd walk in here and it was body to body. And there's a bunch of weird shit going on. People fucking off in the corner. Sucking off in the corner. It was fucking weird. If you want to do that shit, do that shit. Just go to a room or something. Get an apartment. I guess there's no apartments on here, but it wasn't on this server anyway. There was tons of apartments and houses. Get an apartment for 300,000. Go fuck off in there. All right. Do I have one that's closer? That one. All right. So now where? Stairs. Yep. That's the hard part about Ul'dah is like all the inner workings of this building. It's kind of twisty, but it's not bad. You never really have to come in here.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamo herself!
And Roban as well!
Yeah, Raging Bull.
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore. Hurrah!
Yeah,
Roban!
he's my type of guy.
Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold, where by the grace and glory of Naldar have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous?
I think you guys are the rich, right? And the righteous.
I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save?
You guys have the gold saucer.
You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you, line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Ya for Ul'dah!
Together we are one.
Your grace.
Raoban? People of Ul'dah, I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measured that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn!
That was pretty inspiring. I think that, it's pretty hype.
Forsooth, the time is now! I
Fancy meeting you again.
Oh, it's the twins. They're gonna talk some shit. The Eldons have a long history of conflict with the Amajah, the beast tribe, that worships the primal Ifrit. I already killed them. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. You know I have. I'm the killer of Ifrits. The Eldons do not shy from confrontation. It aught threatens their precious prosperity. They will seek to crush it. So have they dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life, yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Ul'dah has no clear policy of how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultana's coffers are bottomless. The Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming that they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amajah are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Eldons send their forces to smite the primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder that the immortal flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventurer of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. Yeah, we know I can handle Ifrit, so... Ifrit. Alright, so that was pretty inspiring. Pop this one. See what they have to say. See if they can sway me back to my hometown. Alright. This seems to be on this server, or on this, at least on this world on this server, the only place that people really congregate. They kind of do in Gridania a little bit by the Aetheryte, but pretty much everybody just clusters up right there. If you go to Ul'dah, it's freaking empty. They need me. No, not that one. Xanthel. I'm gonna proceed. And here we go.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Yeah, she's cool.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The crimson field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the black longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom standard, and our grand company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners. And together, we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
Wow. Snarky.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The
bastards!
Sahagin have risen?
While the mines of Ogomero spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long.
After that fishback comment, she's kind of giving me like that Hitler vibe, you know, with the little suit and shit.
We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us.
Kill him!
One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all!
Long live the Admiral!
Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass? I'll follow ye to the 7 hells, Admiral!
I ain't going to no 7 hells. Unless they have a good reason.
Fancy meeting you again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys are on the same course I am. You guys got the same agenda. As the Admiral mentioned in her address, the Limsa Lominsa is plagued by 2 beast tribes. The first are fish-like Sahagin, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. I'll smack Leviathan. The second are kobolds who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. I'll smack Titan. As if the beast tribe's presence were troublesome enough, the Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Lominsan's backyard. And that is to say not of internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions. And while they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans wet their blades and watch. The Lominsians are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect they would soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom Standard will be drenched in a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond question. But will you sail with the Admiral? No, she kind of gave me that Hitler vibe now. Are you on fishbacks and cheering in the back? I think I'm going to go with the Flames. Link shell. That's the link shell they gave me. Max, this has been Philia. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service has now concluded? A moment ago you say, what a coincidence. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guest from the Grand Companies. Well delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back. I wasn't going to dilly-dally. I was going to teleport there. I was on my way. I'm coming. And for the record, Ungust was a lot worse than Severin. Ungust was a total punk. Hi, Tataru. I'm in a hurry. Minfilia's nagging on me. Alright. Welcome back, Max. The Grand Company leaders. Words as illuminating as you had hoped. Were they? Yeah, they were. Each nation is beset with problems. I trust you see now that why your services are in such demand. Would that there were more of you, Max. But you must be tired from your journey. Why don't you rest a while and take a moment to reflect on your decision? Once your mind is made up, pray give the Grand Company officers your answer. Complete. You run me all the way back just to make me take a nap.
The gods only know what Grand Company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies, as though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral Era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alize, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the Calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience.
I think that old dude, the old wizard dude, when I had the flashback, is their grandfather, if I remember correctly.
There must must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
My lady!
We are to escort you!
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
All right, so I guess I'm going to pop this real quick and call it an episode. I think that we're almost done for today. Welcome back, adventurer. I take it General Rubon's words kindled a fire within you. Join the immortal flames. Excellent. I fear the incident with the traitor may have soured your opinion of us. It gladdens me to see that isn't the case. But before we count you as one of our own, you must be formally inducted into our ranks. I'm going to accept that. Please proceed to the Hall of Flames on Oldam Merchant Strip and identify yourself to the personnel officer. I will notify him of your coming. With your strength joined to ours, we shall surely prevail over our enemies, be they beastmen or Imperials. See? These guys are the Rebel Alliance, I knew it. Alright, so we're going to pop back over there real quick. I should be able to use my return again. Pretty good episode, I guess. We got to learn a little bit more about each one of the nations and what kind of part they played. We learned more about the twins. And we got to pick out our Grand Company. And so we can get the ball rolling with that. It's a good episode. It's the Getting Things Straight episode. Actually, the Getting Shit Done episode. Hashtag Getting Shit Done. What brings you to the Hall of Flames this day, adventurer? My name is Max. I believe you're expecting me. Max Savage from the Max Savage Chronicles on YouTube, Matt Villain's channel. Ah, I thought as much. You are just our man at the Waking You are just as our man at the Waking Sands described. It is an honor to meet you, sir. Now, in order to formalize your... Sir? Speak, Private. Imperial, sir. They fired on High Wind Skyway's airship. Scouts say she is coming down to the west near Horizon's Edge. Bloody hells of all times for this to happen. Max, there's no time for formalities. The Immortal Flames need your help now. We're in the midst of a large-scale operation against the Yamaja, and we have no one to spare in Western Thanolin. You must get to the ship before the Garleans do. If there are any survivors, see that they do not come to further harm. Now go. If I save them, are you guys just going to kill them like the Scions do? Okay, so I have to head to Horizon's Edge and determine the fate of the airship and its crew. But we're going to go ahead and stop right there and call it an episode. And we'll take up right where we left off on in episode 12. This is the Getting Shit Straight, hashtag Getting Shit Done episode. Max Savage Chronicles episode 10. And until next time, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. Oh, today's message. Today's message is sometimes you have to get shit straight and get shit done. Sometimes, like, you get worked up emotionally, like with the Scions, about killing those dudes I rescued. But you have to, like, step back and see the greater good. Sometimes, I guess, in the large scheme of things, in superhero terms, it's better to sacrifice a few to save the many. So, I hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you next time.